Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to some. This person here claims to be someone who voted for both Bushes, so that makes him a Republican. But what I notice, something I really notice is how people talk, what people say, and that leads me more to what they really are, as opposed to you telling me that you voted for a Republican, that you think you're a Republican. This person continually thinks about identity politics, virtue signaling. He thinks about diversity. These are things that this man thinks about on a constant basis. He thinks about cultural Marxism. None of these things would be construed as conservative. None. So I wrote an article yesterday that said a lot of these people who voted for Bush voted for somebody that was less left. They themselves are leftists but don't even know it. Because a leftist doesn't understand how left they are until they've been awoken. And it takes a time of crisis. So let's go through some of this. Now, this person here is trying their hardest, to be rational. He says random thought-provoking observation. Okay. Just returned from a very occasional trip off the compound. Off the compound. I don't know any conservative that would want to live on a compound, first of all. We live adjacent to a racially diverse region of Daytona Beach, okay? He's already thinking about diversity, okay? He's already putting himself in that cultural Marxist mode, already. The local Wawa store gas station is a hub of activity, but still much less busy than the local supermarkets. So when I need something, I will pop in there. We have our groceries delivered so I can avoid the big stores. So what do I notice at Wawa? Other than the staff, I was the only white person sporting a mask. However, every black customer was wearing one. Every single one. White folks walking around like nothing's up. Black folks fully masked. And about an equal amount of each in this integrated neighborhoods store. It made me stop and think why. I believe I know the answer. And by the way, you're going to find out what he believes through these comments. Would love to hear your perspective. Now, when you have somebody like this, you don't comment, because this is what leads you into their echo chamber and you will be attacked. This is what we call left-wing echo chamber. And this is Saulinskyism. So only people who have the same mindset as this guy are allowed to answer. No one else is allowed to answer. Trust me. Okay. This guy's like, so I was reading an interesting article the other day. It claimed the morbidity rate for COVID-19 was higher in the African American community. Okay, there's a partially true statement. Okay, but it's not because they're black. It's because many of the black people that were in New York and in that particular area are obese. They're pre-diabetic. It doesn't pick on race. Okay? It doesn't. Okay, here's his response. It's likely too early to say if there's a genetic reason for this. There isn't. But there could be many other aspects in the play. Okay, so this guy's trying to be rational, but it doesn't mean that he is not engulfed or engrossed in cultural Marxism. But there could be many other aspects in play, not the least of which is a large concentration of African Americans in crowded urban regions. Okay, he's blaming that as opposed to what the doctors said. All right. All right. Okay, here's a guessing man. So I don't want to go on there. I just want to see the answers. It says, if I were a guessing man, I'd say it probably has something to do with their political affiliation, as I find the line pretty well defined among my friends as to who thinks there is a hoax being perpetrated. Now, and this is exactly where he gives his response. We see things similarly. Yep, see? Also, have not seen many, if any, people of color at the open up protests. Well, that should tell him something. Why he's the only white person that wears a mask. He's the only white person that is fighting against the open up protests. He doesn't like it at all. He thinks like a liberal. He acts like a leftist, or a leftist anyway. And he says he's a Republican. He's not. He's not. He just doesn't know it, how far left he is. Okay. All right, let's see the other comments. I believe they have a higher mortality rate than whites, so it would appear. Okay, so he believes that black people are being picked on, but the reason that he believes it is because there's a vast amount of people in a particular area that happen to be black. He's wrong on that aspect. Let's go back to the comments. He's wrong there. Okay, here's somebody who's a total leftist. Just look at the response. That's disgusting. Everyone here is wearing masks. This is no joke. Oh, they've swallowed the blue pill big time, haven't they? Now, here's his response. This is how you can tell that he is not a Republican. This is Florida, after all, opening up businesses even as we are speaking. In infection, even as we are still peaking in infections and deaths. But our governor is a dedicated follower of GOP fashion. See? He's thinking along political lines. Bill, Trump is creating a chaos in this country. He is insane. Okay, that person swallowed the indoctrination pill, right? Okay. Around here, we have noticed a stereotype. I see white men and a handful of women wearing MAGA hats and no masks. No. So it has something to do with that, huh? We have a ton of studio people filming TV here. So she must be in California. And they are largely union workers who vote red. Los Angeles is dead. And he says it in Spanish. This is Los Angeles of the dead. Okay. Which is interesting. Okay, let's see this. I've been noticing the same thing around here. Greater mortality rate, greater comorbidity factors. And in my opinion, a little more centered on current events. Centered. When you start thinking CNN is centered, you're in trouble. Okay. This person, again, thinks that has something to do with black people being picked on. Here are both pictures. This is from a black person, by the way. Both pictures are from today. One is from Harlem. The other is in West Village. Guess which neighborhood has police enforcing social distancing? All right. What did they say? Oh, we are treading the edges of potentially racially charged territory. Oh, now he's being very careful. He's telling everyone, watch out, watch out. Okay. You can tell he's like the leader of this echo chamber here. But that being said, I believe you're correct. Shh. Black people are being picked on. Shh. But don't tell anybody. That said, I believe you are correct, and that people with more to lose tend to be more careful, calm, and aware. Oh, huh. Oh, you track the nuances perfectly. Uh, no, you're both continually nut jobs. All right. Ever consider it's because they vote Democrat over 90%, so whatever information they get, it's coming from the same source. It's just numbers. Plus, through a pre-existing conditions, they are hit harder as a group. I think you put those together, it seems logical. So, as most do not vote Republican, they are more aware of the health dangers. No, they're just indoctrinated, you moron. he goes, he goes, yeah, if that's the way you want to sell it to yourself, sure. He goes, but you said it, not me. No, he didn't say that. You insinuated he said that. See, look at how he misconstrued that. Okay? He goes, so as most do not vote Republican, they are more aware of the health dangers. He didn't say that. He didn't say that at all. Okay? He just said what he did say is, you know, they vote Democrats, so they're getting their information from the same source. He was being politically correct and nice. He was sitting there saying, yeah, they get the information from the same source, which is CNN, MSNBC, and okay. Plus, due to pre-existing conditions, they're hit harder as a group, and that is true. They tend to have, like I said, they tend to be obese, diabetic, and all these things. Okay, put those two together, it seems logical. So what he did was he misconstrued it in the way that he wanted to present it, saying they are more aware of health dangers. And he's like, yeah, if that's the way you want to sell it to yourself, sure. But you said it, not me. You see why leftists, this is leftism to the T. Take everything you say and misconstrue it and twist it. He's selling his own spin. I was laughing before I even read that comment because I picked up what Bill Howe was doing. I picked it up. That was funny. Well, the most percent of deaths are African Americans. A fair point. White folks feel immune then, or something. Okay, then someone's going to make fun of Trump. Okay. My neighborhood, which is dominantly African American, is the same. So many are wearing masks while everyone else, including myself, are not. Ooh, look at this. I don't get into politics, so my opinion disregards that entirely. In my opinion, it's because they tend to have more people living under one roof, and I believe a lot don't have health insurance at all because of where they choose to work. So they take less risks. Obviously, I think there are more factors and variables, but it's just what I've noticed in my area. Okay. Trying to stay apolitical, but yet there's a political, okay? I just wanted you to see just how people, and this person thinks they're being rational, okay? They're indoctrinated into cultural Marxism. Something simple as this. This person's going in trying to make observations, but they're making observations under a tinted lens. Even when they reply to people, they reply under a tinted lens. Like, okay? They have to spin everything. It's just who they are. If you're a leftist, you're a leftist. You have been indoctrinated into cultural Marxism. There's nothing that anybody can do for you other than pretty much laugh at you. Take care. This is Johnny B. out.